Hello folks, welcome back for an update on the REEFER 250. This is 11 months from the start. So lots of things have changed since my last update. My last update was, if you've seen it, is on the Rescape, and the Rescape is working out really good. I'm really happy with it. I have noticed that the bubble algae problem that I thought I was going to be coming up against, a big problem with bubble algae, I don't think is going to be a massive problem now. There's hardly any in there now. I think that's because the emerald crab I introduced a month or so ago has gone to town with it. I actually caught him the other night eating it, a nice big piece on the front. So that's good news. And on that side of things, I don't know if you can notice that from my last videos or anything's different with the tank. Been thinking about doing this for a while, but you see something missing. Yeah, it's the blue chromis. Blue-green chromis are out. They're just acting really weird. They're fine when they went in. I put 8 in originally, and over the course of time they just started to, bicker, a bit more and isolate the smaller ones off. And they were just getting territorial, I think, as they matured and got mature. Might have been some where they become sexually mature, some mating problems or whatever. But they just seem to hang around the back, as you saw the last update. And actually a few people commented, what's up with the chromis? They just weren't shoaled together in a nice group swimming around peacefully. They were just stressed out, which is not what I wanted to create with this tank. It's going to be a peaceful community reef, SPS reef tank. And yeah, it just didn't look right in there with those chromis in there. They just looked annoyed the whole time. So made the decision to remove them. Luckily they're quite easy to get out because they're hanging around the top of the tank, the surface of the water. And my local reef store took them back in. That's in Hawkhurst. It's all things aquatic in Hawkhurst. They kindly took them in for me. And things are much better. I wasn't going to add any other fish stock, but I have added another fish to the tank. Don't know if you've spotted it yet. I'll take the camera off the tripod in a minute and zoom in on all the corals and stuff. But I have added another tang. Yes, another tang. There he is at the front now. Just going over the rock. I've put in a kole tang, a yellow eye kole tang. Was over all things aquatic, and was sort of debating what to put in, what other fish to put in. My wife was with me, and she persuaded me to go for this kole tang, which she really liked. I was looking at copper band butterflies, which, to be honest, I'm glad I didn't go for, to be honest, because they never really fare well in small aquariums. So I've gone for this kole tang, and I was dreading putting him in, thinking there's going to be massive war with this mimic tang I've got, but it's been fine. The mimic tang obviously didn't like it when it went in, but as you can see now on the left hand side, I'll zoom in a minute, but they seem to be fine now. They've accepted each other. The mimic tang is definitely the boss. I think the kole tang has accepted that, and no problems. But the dreaded white spot, or marinic, has reared its head, annoyingly. Now, whether it came in on this kole tang, your first thing you're going to assume is, oh, you've put a tang in there. You haven't quarantined it. Well, I haven't got a quarantine tang. That's where it's come from. It came in on the fish. Well, yeah, that's a possibility, but the system he came from, the fish only system he came from, with all things aquatic, he's been in there for, I think, nearly a month. No signs of it whatsoever. And I know that system has no signs of it whatsoever. So it's probably down to, there's probably ick parasite in my system at some point, because I do recall at the very start of doing this reefer that my clowns, when I put them from the nano into this, I had a couple of white spots pop up. And when I put my 6-line wrasse in, he developed a couple of spots. But then within a week or so, completely cleared. I mean, it's been all these months since, nothing. Everything's been calm, no white spot whatsoever. Fish really healthy, good colour, feeding well. until this coal tang's gone in. And I think what it is you introduce a new fish, especially a tang, to a small system like this, that stresses and things happen psychologically throughout the balance of the tank. So it creates stress, and when a fish is stressed, it seems to lower its immune system, and maybe his slime coat reduces or whatever, and you suddenly get an outbreak of white spot. Now this is by far, there's a few white spots. It's by far a massive problem yet, but it could be. I'm hoping we're going to closely monitor over the next few weeks to see these spots disappear. There's a few on my mimic tang. There's a couple on the coal tang, hardly any. There's none on my clowns. There's none on my algae blenny. I think I spotted 2 on my 6-line wrasse. But yeah, everything seems to be happy. Everything's eating, feeding. Fish have just fed, and they don't like the sight of this tripod. So that's why they hide away quite a bit. So everything else is going well. Though I quickly run through. I'm getting a few questions on my lighting schedule. I'll quickly run through everything into one update here. So this is 11 months in. We're using Red Sea Coral Pro salt. I've upped that my schedule maintenance for water changes to 30-40% water changes a week, only because I need to keep up with the amount that the system is using down in the elements I'm not testing for. My calcium, alkalinity and magnesium, I dose those and keep those in the right range. But because I'm dosing quite a bit of that, because the corals are now using quite a bit of them elements down, no doubt they're using all the elements I'm not testing for down as well. So to prevent a bit of a crash or halt in growth and everything, which I have had before, I've jacked up the water changes, so you're constantly getting loads of fresh elements back in as well. And also I got my first reading of nitrate of 2.5. The highest I've had is 2.5 parts per million nitrate. I know that's not severe, but that is not going to go any higher than that. I want it a maximum of 1 or below. So the water changes are helping with that as well. And I think the reason for the nitrates is because of, it's nearly a year old, the accumulation of detritus under the rock. Doing the reescape has helped. It's got all that detritus out of there. Obviously that marine pure that I've added to the sump area as well, maybe that's just coming on, Max just starting to kick in now. Maybe the end cycle of that populating may be a reason for the spike of nitrate as well. So I don't know, we're doing all the right things. What I have decided to do is take all things aquatic advice and start using KZ elements in the system, which is like automatic elements. It's just like a solid piece of material you put in a sump, and it slowly dissolves all the elements we don't test for into the system. And there's been really good reports, reviews on people using that, so I'm going to give that a try. Hopefully, it's quite expensive, but hopefully if I can get that up and running, that would be good. So I'm going to be quite quick because we've only got 20 minutes on this video. It's recording in 1080p at 60 frames a second. So yeah, going back to what we're running Coral Pro, Red Sea's Coral Pro salt at 35 parts per thousand. Like I say, 30-40% water changes a week. I might reduce it to 20, but we'll just see how we go at the moment. Once I get the KZ elements running, I might drop it to 20% a week. But at the moment we're running 30-40% a week water change. Yeah, so lighting is Kessel A160 WEs, and the lighting schedule I'm using, I'm going to mention so people can refer back to it. And I have to keep answering the questions from people who are putting them in the box below the videos. Basically, at 10 o'clock in the morning, intensity comes up at 5%, colour 0. And then by 1 PM, my colour's at 60 and my intensity is at 100. So it slowly ramps up over the course of 2 or 3 hours there to a really nice colour. It's coming up to it now. It's 50% colour now and 82% intensity. So at what, 12:30. Then by 3 PM in the afternoon, it's at 100 colour, 100 intensity. It's full out. So the system of the coral has got the full range. It's seen the full range of light Kelvin and the full intensity. Then it slowly ramps down in colour to 6 p.m. To 60 colour again, which I think at 60 colour makes the corals pop the nicest. It doesn't look too blue in there, it's just the right nice tuned colour, that 60% I feel. But still 100% intensity at 6 p.m. as well. So we've gone from 1 p.m. 100% intensity all the way through to 6 p.m. 100% intensity. So you've got like 5 hours max intensity and ranging through the colour from 0 right there through to 100 and then backing down to 60. At 9 p.m. Colour comes down to 40 and the intensity drops to 70, and then from 9 till midnight it goes back to 0, 0 and goes off for the night. So that's the lighting schedule on the Kessels. My water parameters, I am dosing alkalinity to keep that at 9 DKH, around the 9. My calcium dosing to keep that around 460. My magnesium I dose once a week, drops to about 1300, 1350, and I just boost it up to 1400, 1450. Nitrates last tested at 2.5 I think, so I'm on that, and you know, hopefully I don't have to go down the road of carbon dosing, but we'll see. If we have to, we have to. Phosphates, testing 0. I'm using Salifert test kits for everything, and the phosphate on that Salifert kit is testing 0, but no doubt it's just a tiny trace of phosphate. I'm using, always got at least 250 ml of REEFER running in a reactor in the sun, and that's changed out every month religiously. So I think that's the reason why there's hardly any phosphate in the system. And other parameters, pH 8.1, it's always 8.1, nice and stable. So flow wise, we just got 3 wave makers on. We're running a return pump from the sump at about 2,500 litres an hour. And the wave machines, there's a couple of J-Bows on here, an RW4 and RW8, and a Vortec MP10. And I vary the flow. Obviously at night, when the lights, towards the evening, I turn all the wave machines down, so it's nice and calm in there for the evening for the fish to sleep. But obviously there's still a circulation going on for the waste, you know, from the corals and stuff, and obviously to just move water around the corals, but not intensely. In the mornings I jack all the wave machines back on again, and they're just on a random flow throughout the tank. So it's just chaotic, strong flow throughout. And they're all on full blast as well. You see like there, the MP10 sort of on a pulse mode, where it pulses a big wave in for like a minute or so and then back down again. And the J-Bows are on a random pattern. What else? Let's have a look. Let's get the phone off the tripod and zoom in on each coral, see the growth. Put the tripod out of the way. Okay, so all the corals are doing really, really well, getting amazing growth, and I think that's because I'm keeping up with the elements. The elements I'm not testing for. So doing the heavy water changes, keeping nutrients low. It's probably why they've got such good growth. Here we go, purple stylophora. Nice white tips, erupting new growth constantly. Got massive. The most notable one though is this green barley slimer acro. Massive growth on that. And this one here, my green hystrix, doing really well. Erupting new growth constantly. Every week it's just stretching out and reaching out. My pink hystrix, my original one, that's all coming back. Nice colour. You spray it on new tips everywhere, and the two new pink hystrix are slowly getting there. Taking their time them to settle in. They're slowly getting there. Okay, and my plating Montipora, that's doing really well, really cupping round. I'm hoping the red bit underneath, just there, will branch out so it can catch the light, which I think it is doing. That bit of pink hystrix there from the original colony, that's doing really well. I've put a bit down here as well. Where is it there? This is what it'll be like on lower light, and it's bleached out a little bit, and I think it's because the didn't like the super glue. Montipora elkhorn, that's huge growth. It's in 2 colonies now, 3 actually. The original bit is there, it's all branching out from the bottom, and there's another piece here. I've had to coral putty into the rock there because it broke off. It's all doing really well. There's another piece right over here. Zoa's doing all good, starting to spread onto the back wall. Digitata, Montipora digitata, a few frags of it here, there and everywhere. One there, one over there, and it's a nice piece here. It's doing good. Slow growing at the moment. I'm sure it will suddenly start really growing up. GSP, as always, doing really good. This emerald one's really growing now. I love the islands I've got. It's self-contained. It's contained on these islands now, so there's no worry about it spreading onto the main display. You see my mimic tang there, it's rubbing itself on the sand. Hard to see the yellow spots, sorry, the white spots on him, but he has got them. So I'm hoping it'll all get better slowly. Oh, this other one, this is Poecilipora, tricolour Poecilipora. That's going really well. That's from my cousin's tank. And there's another digitata up here, green digitata. That's doing really well as well. I've got a couple of minutes left on this update, folks, so hopefully I haven't forgotten everything on here. My cloud's doing fine. Trying to spot white spots on them. Don't think they've got any. They're in such good health, these clouds. If they do get any, they just seem to shake it off. Everything's going good in the sump. Got to have a good clean up down in this sump. It's been there a year and I've not cleaned it all out. It's going looking a bit sort of yellowy, greeny. Need to clean the glass and get any detritus out. So these 225 micron filter socks usually are good. They're good, so they're keeping most of the detritus out of the sump. They're changed out every 3 or 4 days, filter socks. Okay, so we've got about a minute left. The next update I do will be 1 year from the start, and hopefully by then this white spot problem has gone. Worst case scenario, we lose all the fish, but I don't think that's going to happen. But who knows? We will see. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe, hit the like, and I'll see you in the next update. Cheers, folks.